Right, so before we go into the details of the Launchpad, I would like to share a few cautions. Now, the first caution is to do with the calculation procedure used by Binance Launchpad. Now, a lot of Launchpads and IDO platforms have their own way of going about their calculation. Binance is quite open. You are allowed to, subscribe at least 0.1 to a maximum determined by your average. But the thing is that there is going to be a calculation that is your BNB that is committed over the total BNB committed times the number of tokens. Mind you, for this particular token Launchpad, we are going to have about 30 million committed, and on the average the total number of BNB committed in history is about 8 to 10 million BNB. So you can do a rough calculation to ascertain how much tokens you are going to get. So with this calculation in view, take note that if you do not put in a substantial amount of BNB, you may not get a good number of the tokens, at the end of the allocation period. So take note of that so that you are not disappointed. The next thing is that if you want to buy on listing, kindly take very good notice of this point. Please wait for a dip before you buy. If you can take a look at the past or the Launchpad tokens that we've had, you will see that once they hit their all-time high, they take a dip. Hitting the all-time high can take place in the first few seconds of listing, and they will take a dip. They will retrace because traders and investors would like to take profits before the trades go on, right? So please take note that if you want to buy on listing, don't buy at the top, else you will be bent. You would have to hold for a long period of time before you could even break even. So please take note that if you want to buy on listing, kindly ensure that there is a retracement. From history, we've seen that we can see retracements between 50 to 80%. Sometimes, yes, as much as 80%, right? You can go check the Beta Finance charts and you will understand what I'm saying. So yeah, these are some things that you need to note before getting into this Launchpad. So stick and stay and enjoy the video. Welcome to Crypthority. My name is V, and today there is another Binance Launchpad announcement. So Binance is going to list Voxies, Voxel token, right? And on the Launchpad. Now, this Voxies is a game. It's an RPG game, role-playing game, and I think it will be really interesting to look into the game yourself, right? So it is free-to-play RPG game. So let's go into the details. Here we have the token name is Voxies or Voxel. Then we have the Launchpad hard cap here. That is 6 million USD, and then per user 15,000 USD per user. That's equivalent to 75,000 Voxel, because the price per Voxel is going to be 0.2, so that is 20 cents, right? And basically the token sale format is subscription, and then the only supported crypto which will be used will be BNB, right? So let's go into the preparation period. This is the period where snapshots will be taken of your BNB balance over a period of 7 days, and this commences from the 7th of December right to the 14th of December. So you should do well to have BNB. You should buy some BNB if you want to participate in this. Make sure that you have some BNB you are holding, because an average is going to be used to determine the maximum amount you can commit, and usually the least amount of BNB you can commit is 0.1, and the maximum is determined by the snapshots, the average of the 7-day period BNB you are hodling. So do well to have some BNB if you really want to participate in this Launchpad. Now, after that, we have the subscription period, and then that's going to be a 3-hour period from 6 a.m. UTC to 9 a.m. UTC, right, on the 14th of December. So you can just ensure that you set an alarm so you don't forget it, right? And during this subscription, what happens is that whatever BNB use for the subscription will be locked, right? So you will not be able to use it for anything. Now, after the subscription, we're going to have calculation period, and finally we have the token distribution, right? So that is it. And during this token distribution, what's going to happen is that whatever Voxel that you are allocated will be sent to you to your spot, and then your BNB will be returned. And take note that there is some sort of calculation that is used. So you need to bear in mind that you need to hold a lot of BNB to be able to participate. This is some really interesting feature for most Launchpad platforms or ideal platforms. You need to hold a substantial amount of their platform token to be able to grab your hands on these tokens, in a good amount. So that's something you should take note of, right? So basically, this is what we should know, and this is Voxies. This is their website. It's a fast-paced, free-to-play tactics RPG game, right? So you can just download and play for free. It's free to play, right? So you can just explore it. I think they have this gallery of the Voxies and everything. So you can just explore it and see. I find the game to be will be quite interesting. So you could take some time to look into it yourself, right? We've seen Axie Infinity in the gameplay, in the GameFi niche doing quite well. There are a number of other games, so I think this one would be quite interesting to look into. Then finally, Binance Research has done an in-depth research on Voxies, so you can come here, read more about it. I'm going to leave the links to these resources in the description, right? So you can see basically how the game is going to be, how the tokenomics is going to be like, the vesting period and everything of that sort, right? So kindly make some time to read into this. So there's no financial advice if you want to participate in this Launchpad. We've seen that in the past, Launchpads give you at least times 10. That is to even say the least, right? So do well to, if you want to participate in this, get your BNB ready, no financial advice, and grab some Voxies for yourself. All right, so thanks and have a blessed day.